Secretary of State Antony Blinken is back in Saudi Arabia pushing for an Israeli proposed ceasefire deal.
And there's hope right now. The U.S.'s top diplomat says the proposal is, quote, extraordinarily generous, close quote. And the only thing standing between the people of Gaza and a ceasefire at this hour is Hamas. The deal is expected to halt Israel's operations across Gaza in return for the release of Israeli hostages. CBS News Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan spoke with the niece of an American hostage on Sunday. She believes a deal can be reached, but she does have her concerns about if such a deal will happen.
We're at 205 days. There have been deals on the table, and they've proven elusive. And I worry that that is because of Prime Minister Netanyahu. So I think that now is the moment. I have faith that we can do a deal now, but I also think that if that isn't possible, then the Biden administration should think about what they can do directly to bring our American citizens home.
CBS News contributor Robert Berger joins us now from Jerusalem. Robert, thank you very much for being here. So the deal that everyone seems quite hopeful about, what is in it? What is Israel offering? How is it different from deals past?
Well, what we're hearing is that Israel is offering a ceasefire of several weeks in exchange for the release of 33 Israeli hostages and hundreds of Palestinian prisoners, possibly up to 1,000, including some who have blood on their hands, as they say here in Israel, meaning that they were involved in deadly terrorist attacks. And then this is part of the first phase. And if that works out, then Israel would be prepared to discuss for the first time a permanent end to the war. At least that's what the U.S. and international community are hoping. It's being called a prolonged period of calm.
So, Robert, I mean, we keep saying the word hope, 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 but we've been here before. What makes this round of talks different?
This time it seems the Israelis are really, as Blinken said, making extraordinary concessions, or what he called gestures. And for instance, the original deal had called for the release of 40 Israeli hostages in the first stage. And now that number has apparently gone down to 33, and I wouldn't be surprised if it goes even lower. And then the sticking point all along has been whether or not Israel would go along with a complete end of the war. It had refused. That has been Hamas's key demand. And now the Israelis apparently are going along with the idea that in the second phase, if all goes well, they could discuss a permanent end to the war that would receive the release of the remaining hostages. By the way, we're talking about 133 hostages in Gaza. It's believed that maybe up to 100 are still alive. So the Israelis are making concessions, and the reason is that the feeling here in Israel is the time to bring the hostages home alive is running out. On the other hand, Hamas hasn't really seemed to be in much of a hurry to make a deal.
Well, Hamas knows if the hostages are released, it has nothing more to bargain with, and Israel may, in fact, go in and finish what it says its original mission was. And it's compared the operation in Rafah to closing out a firefight. You've got 20% of the fire remaining or 20% of the cancer remaining. Both these metaphors have been put forth by the Israeli government. So they've got to complete the mission there in Rafah. But if they get a deal here and there is some sort of a phased, prolonged calm, as they put it, what does that mean for Rafah?
Right. So this is actually the only leverage that Israel really has left is Rafah, and their threat for weeks now to go into Rafah and wipe out the last 4 battalions of Hamas. And they're saying that if Hamas doesn't accept this proposal, that they're going to go in and do that. Of course, the U.S. and international community are very opposed to this because you have more than 1 million displaced Palestinians taking refuge there.
Robert, quickly.
And Israel says that it's going to move them out.
Robert,
before any ground assault.
Robert, I'm sorry to interrupt you. We're running out of time there. If Israel is going to get 33 hostages back, but there's more than 130 currently in captivity with Hamas, what happens to the other 100 in this deal?
They're part of the second phase of the deal.
Okay.
And there's a lot of concern in Israel that Hamas will take a long time to release them, if at all.
Robert Berger, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.